That one says Connor, by the way. So that's Connor. No, Connor and Paulie. All right. Welcome back to the Devils. You know, I am JJ. I am your host. And I have had a few medical issues. I do have a autoimmune disease. So, it kept me from recording episodes after a win in LA and a loss in Anaheim. And I really couldn't even do I wasn't even gonna do this one. It's already 12 hours until the next game, which is at 12:30 Saturday afternoon. So I'm gonna make this quick. The Devils, they won in LA. Great game. Dawson Mercer, cool. Go to Anaheim. Anaheim's on a fucking hot streak. They've done a lot of great, I wouldn't say they've done rebuilding as well as managing and moving players. Bringing in Trouba and Kreider has been very good for them, and a hard loss for the Rangers. By the way, I'm going to see Matthew Schaefer live on Monday. Devils vs. Islanders. I will be going live over on my Substack account. If you're listening on Substack right now, then you're already there. But I'll be going live from the arena. We're going to be meeting Rachel Herzog, Bryce Salvador, Ken Danico, Don LaGreca, hopefully Corey Schneider. So it'll be a good time. Anyway, last night's game, Devils Montreal. Okay, there's only one way to describe the game that I watched last night, and please let me know your point of view, or your opinion on this. I think that those were two evenly matched teams that would be amazing to watch in a playoff series. Really loved watching that game. It was a great comeback for the Devils, Montreal, and it was a great game, for Montreal. And Dobas, or whatever his name is, the goaltender for Montreal, was so good. And to hear that he was crying after going into the game against, right now, a top team in the NHL, or maybe the top team in the NHL, the New Jersey Devils, going in to play them, going to overtime, and then losing, not losing to some nobody. You had Jesper Bratt on a breakaway coming at you, okay? You're now 6-0-1, not even 6-1-0. Be proud. I'm proud of that guy. I said it on Twitter. I said he should be proud of himself. I'm sorry. And I'm actually proud of him. He was excellent. The Devils could have won that game 7-8-3. Easily. Hamilton's down. I'm gonna wear my Hamilton jersey to the game on Monday. I don't think I've even worn that jersey to a game ever, but there's only two jerseys I have now that don't have autographs all over them, and two of the newer players, like the recent, I have jerseys that go back years, decades, but regarding like newer Adidas players from the Adidas era and Fanatics era, I only have Hamilton and my Luke Hughes jersey. Those are the only two jerseys that don't have autographs. So I'm not gonna wear the autographed ones. I actually my 2017 rookie Jesper Bratt jersey, autographed by the whole 40th anniversary team, Actually, no, the 40th anniversary team signed the reverse retro. Um, it was the team the year before that, but Bratt signed that jersey. I wore that jersey a bunch of times. I'm wearing it in pictures with Danico and Bill Spalding and stuff like that. You could see that jersey, and I don't know why I did that. Um, the last autographs I got, I made sure Jack, Luke, Dawson Mercer, and Bratt all signed photos instead of on the jersey. Had Paul Cotter sign the back. Anyway, back to Jesper Bratt, Timo Meyer. Timo Meyer, had a great game. He tied the game with the goalie pull. Top shelf goal, great, loved it. Then he was part of the play with Bratt. They were out there together, Bratt and Meyer. Bratt and Meyer both haven't scored many goals in general, but they also haven't scored in a while. Meyer had a few goals real quick, and then he hadn't scored for like 9 games. So he gets this goal, boom, revs us up, goes into overtime. Jesper Bratt gets a break, and when Jesper Bratt gets a break and it's overtime or it's shorthanded, just like when Rachel Herzog said to Timo Meyer, quote, "When you saw Bratter gunning down on a breakaway, how confident were you that he was going to end the game right there?" And his answer was, "Very confident." That was a great interview. It's pinned to the top of my X account, so check that one out. That Jesper Bratt goal and celebration is a highlight real goal. Hey, I didn't even think. I thought I was doing this usually I record this live unlisted, and then I download it and then I upload it to Spotify, Apple Music, all that stuff. I guess I'm doing a broadcast live right now that is listed, and I didn't do that on purpose. But hey, what's up, man? Good to see you. I literally didn't know I was live. I knew I was live, but I do it live. A live broadcast, but I have it unlisted so no one sees that it's live, and then I list it in the morning usually. But it's just a little place where I'm storing things. Not many people watch this year, but hey, good to see you. Go check out my stuff on Substack, The Devils You Know on Substack. That's the spot. And of course on Twitter or X at Devils Join X. Anyway. So, Jesper Bratt, Timo Meyer both haven't really scored many goals. Of course, Jesper Bratt is doing his normal thing, just putting points up. It's really funny. Just because we lost Dougie Hamilton last night, I was almost 4 for 4. I bet that Gritsuk would score when he scored. Then I did a parlay bet where it had a Jack Hughes goal. I did the under, and Hamilton had to have 2 shots. Then I had a Dawson Mercer goal bet that I won. And then I did a parlay last night. It was a Jesper Bratt goal, a point from Jack Hughes, and 2 shots from Hamilton. But Hamilton got hurt, so that I got the other 2. If Hamilton didn't get hurt, he definitely would have had 2 shots. I believe he already had 1 shot in the 10 minutes that he played. But either way, oh yeah, I'd love to have you on, man. You know my email, right? thedevilsjoint@gmail.com. Just send me an email, because I would have to go way back to find your emails and your email address. So if you could do that, that would be helpful, because I would love to have you on. We're going to have some people on soon. Obviously, over the summer, I did all my interviews with whoever players and, Danico and Don LaGreca and all that. During the season, it's a little harder to get people, but I do have some not old players, but I have Doug Gilmour on the interview list. I have Rachel Herzog. I'm gonna be meeting with her on Monday, and hopefully I can then also get Bryce Salvador. So, and for anyone who's listening for the first time or who doesn't know, um, they're on here too. They're on YouTube, obviously, but on my Substack channel where my articles are, my podcast and my articles are, you can see all of my interviews with Tim Peel, Cam Jansen, Ken Danico, Don LaGreca, Tom Chorsky, Jim Dowd. You can watch all that stuff there, or you could go through, my YouTube shit and find it there. Anyway, back to the game last night. So, this Jacob Dobas, or whatever his name is, from Montreal, great goalie, and he was crying. You got to feel bad for him, but you also got to be like, hey, man, you're 6-0-1 in the NHL, and you're crying? Like, after, I was sympathetic at first. I said, this guy should be proud of himself, but also it's like, hey, bro, you're in the NHL, you're fucking 6-0, and you lost to the best team in the league, maybe not the top number one team, all right? But the Devils are basically the best team in the league. They're probably the hardest team to play that the Canadiens would have on their schedule in the recent weeks, right? So, am I wrong there? I'm not. You know what? I actually made that up. I don't know their schedule, so that could be a total lie. But either way, the teams it was just a match. It was a battle. It was a great hockey battle last night. Goalie battle a little bit. I would much rather see Jake Allen play that game, of course. Could be because Markstrom lets in softies at the wrong time, whether it be first goal of the game or on the first shot, which did happen in that game, or a softie at the end of the game to let the team go up 3-2, during a tie game. Markstrom seems to be the guy that lets those in very easily. Not very easily, but I'd say Allen has the better chance of making the saves that need to be made in those situations. Markstrom doesn't have great history. I mean, I don't know why people were marching for Markstrom in the first place. He, was kicked out of Vancouver. They didn't want him. They sent him to Calgary. Calgary doesn't want him either. So what the fuck do we want him for? I never understood it. I was already like, hey, Jake Allen's enough. We have goalies. Nico Doaz can play. Nico Doaz is an NHL caliber, maybe a 1B or a backup goalie, but the Devils don't need Jacob Markstrom. They don't need him. So, now that I've realized I'm live on YouTube, things kind of changed. My schedule on what I was going to say kind of got messed up. I didn't know I was going to be live, so kind of, damn it, I messed myself up. And you know what? That's why I wasn't even going to do this episode, because I'm not really feeling well, and that's why I'm not on screen right now. But I did want to get the episode out because, of course, everyone knows Devil's Joint, JJ, me, I'm the number one Jesper Bratt fan that there has ever been. There might be some bigger fans in Sweden, but as a North American, I'm the number one Jesper Bratt fan, which reminds me to go back to the betting about Bratt last night. I also threw up on X, hey, if Jesper Bratt scores a goal tonight, I will send, because I have 10 Jesper Bratt Upper Deck Portrait rookie cards. I said I will send two of these cards out to two random people that like a post that I put up, and that post. And it turns out I had a few posts that got hundreds of likes. This one only got 8, so it was very easy to choose 2 people. And I sent those cards out today. So 2 people are getting Upper Deck Portraits, which is the black and white one, rookie Jesper Bratt cards. And I'll probably do another giveaway with 1 more of those, and then I'll keep the other 7 for myself. So, but if anyone's really itching for a Jesper Bratt Upper Deck Portraits rookie card, all right, get in touch with me and we'll talk. I do have a lot of cards, and I have some more Bratt stuff coming up. Anyway, so yeah, Jesper Bratt, Timo Meyer, both the heroes of the day. And let's see, 12 o'clock. Let me see what's going on in the morning. So we got 12:30. So I'm assuming tomorrow morning that the Devils, 12:30. So the pregame is gonna start at 12 o'clock. That's way too early on a Saturday for me for a hockey game. I would never be able to get to the Rock for that game. There's no way, especially if I don't feel good. But I am going on Monday. Hopefully I'll feel better then. They're playing the Islanders, ironically, where, I'm on Long Island here, so I could see them here in December and just go to another game. I mean, the Devils against another team, but, divisional games are cool. Want to go see Matthew Schaefer play live, which I'm going to go see him at UBS Arena also, but just want to see him in his early days. In his first 20 games, it's cool to be like someone who was in the arena to see a player like that in his first few games. You know what I mean? He's already got more points than most of the Devils, but it's still gonna be less than maybe their 15th or 16th game. So basically, he's only done about 15, maybe 18% of the season. I'm doing math in my head now all of a sudden. Yeah, so to be able to see him play live, and then years from now, if he becomes an all-star, be like, hey, I was at one of his first NHL games, like one of his first 20 games. That's doesn't sound like a big deal, but if you're I was gonna say historic, but then I went to go say history. If you're a history guy like me, like I love the fact that I was at the first game that Utah ever played. First of all, it was the first game that they ever, not that they ever played, but the first game they ever lost was to the Devils at the Rock, and it was also the first time that team was ever shut out. Those are two historical hockey things that I was at, and I feel like I like that kind of stuff. So I like the history aspect of things. So seeing Matthew Schaefer, not at a home game for him, at a road game for Matthew Schaefer, is pretty cool. It's one of his first road games, even closer. If you talk about road games, it might be his, I don't know the Islander schedule, it might be his 6th, could be his 10th, I don't know. But either way, it's less than 20, and that's good enough for me. So, Jesper Bratt, big overtime hero. If you want, if you really want to see the full minute 20 clip that I put up on Twitter, it's on Twitter. I also did put it up on YouTube, a couple of clips of it, but I did a lot of the overtime until the goal, and then obviously a little celebration. But everything leading up to that goal was also cool. So check it out, and then, pray for this Dobas goalie guy, because if he's crying when he's 6-0-1 in the NHL as a rookie, he might not be. He might be a great goalie. He might be a goalie that, if he wasn't immature in his mind, could do great things. But he might not be. He might be a little immature. Who knows? Let me know what you think. And that's it. I've gone 20 minutes. I really was hoping this would go 5 minutes and I'd be out, but 20 minutes in, and Matthew Schaefer, thumbs up. Demidov looked good against the Devils also, but I think Matthew Schaefer takes the Calder this year from what I've seen. That's my opinion. Also, let me know what you think about that. Anyway, this has been the Devils You Know. I'll see you on Monday. Monday morning, you'll get an episode of the Devils You Know, and then I'll be heading out to the Rock for the Devils versus the Islanders. So until then, this has been the Devils You Know. I'm JJ. Have a good weekend.
Hard hits! Great goals! We love